Welcome in everyone. Today we're going to be washing dishes and we are going to be cleaning our kitchen sink. You're going to need a sponge and some dish soap and some warm to hot water, whatever is comfortable for your hand, but we do want it on the warmer side. You're going to get that sponge wet. You're going to add your soap and lather it in. And then we're going to start off right here with this dish pan. I'm showing you those burn stains just to let you know they're not coming out. And I'm going to start scrubbing with my soapy sponge, working my way all around my dishpan, making sure I get the brim, the inside, and the bottom. Once I have scrubbed it thoroughly, I will be rinsing it, making sure I get all of that soap off and that my water runs clean. Once it is rinsed, I'll be setting it on my drying mat. Now we're working on a bowl. As you see, I'm rinsing it out. Then I'm going in and scrubbing, working my way around the bowl as I rinse. A tip of washing dishes, I recommend calling a friend, a family member, um, watching your favorite streamer on your phone, or listening to music to make the time go by. As you see, we are washing a pot. Same thing, I rinsed it. I'm scrubbing vigorously. I want to make sure I get everything off of it. Make sure you get all your sides, the edges, the brim, the bottom, the handle. And then we're just going to rinse it off, work it all out. Just double checking with my fingers once again, making sure it feels clean. Another pot. Same thing applies. We're going to rinse, add our soap, scrub vigorously, and then we'll rinse again and double check our work. If you have any recommendations of something you'd like to see me clean or cook, please put it in the comments or reach out to me personally and I'll get a video going on that. As you see, I'm just scrubbing, making sure she's clean, and I'm rinsing her off. Another tip I will let you all in on is I know that some days we cook a meal and we do not want to wash all of our dishes. Just make sure you rinse them before you put them in your sink. That way, when it comes time to washing them, you're not scrubbing off old food that's now hardened and stuck inside. Here we're washing a knife. You always want to be careful with having sharp objects. Never put them in a sink full of water and soap. You're going to want to keep them separate so you don't get stabbed or cut. And as you see, I worked both sides of the blade and then the blade itself, and then I worked from the handle and then rinsed it off. Here we have our fork. Forks can be difficult because food can get stuck within them. Another reason why we should try rinsing as soon as we're done with something, even if we're not washing dishes that day, just so you're not trying to get something out between those forks. So you just saw me make sure with my fingers that I got everything off and nothing was stuck between it. And there's our clean fork. Here are a couple Tupperwares or small bowls. You can see I am working my way through all the grooves on the side, making sure nothing is stuck on it, there's no residue, and everything is getting cleaned. Here we have another one, same thing applies. I'm just rinsing, and then we're scrubbing, making sure everybody is clean, all the grooves, cracks, the brim, and we're rinsing. Another tip is I typically, if there's something I feel needs a little extra love or some deep scrubbing, I will put it in the bottom of my sink as I'm working on my dishes. That way, all that hot water is rinsing down on it and all that soapy water is rinsing down on it, helping break away that food or that sauce that might be stuck on it that you are dreading to wash. So I typically leave those ones near the end. So as you see, we just cleaned out a cup, very similar to a pot or a bowl. You just want to keep rinsing it until that water runs clean. Here we have some serving spoons that I had sitting there soaking underneath, and now I am scrubbing them, I'm rinsing them, and I'm making sure they don't feel grimy or slimy. If you run your fingers over it and it feels weird, best thing to do is just to wash it again. So here we are, clean, on to the next. Scrubbing, making sure I'm getting all the sides and the edges. Here we have plates. Scrubbing very vigorously on all of my plates, as you see, and my pots. Uh, just using a sponge and soap is not going to clean it. You're definitely going to have to put some muscle into whatever you clean, especially if you are not rinsing them and you have stuff stuck on them. It's going to be a lot more difficult. So I cannot emphasize enough, rinse your dishes after you use them. Um, Best case scenario, you wash your dishes after, but if not, make sure you rinse it just to keep it clean so that way when you do come to do your dishes, it's not a horrendous task to take on. Here I am again, second plate. Once again, just scrubbing, rinsing, double checking my work with my fingers, and off to the drying mat. Big soup pots can seem intimidating just because they're so large, but it's just awkward. Same with cutting boards and things like that. You saw me wipe off all that film that was on the inside. I would much rather rinse that off and use my hand then get that on my sponge and keep transferring that to all my dishes I'm cleaning. It's another good reason why it's good just to kind of give it a rinse beforehand and make sure you work it off with your hands. At the end of the day, your hands are in soap. You're going to wash them when you're done. So just get in there and get her done and save that sponge. Give it a little bit more life. So here I am washing the bottom, scrubbing, making sure everything's clean. Most of us, when we organize our kitchen stuff, we are stacking it on top of each other. So yes, it might be the bottom, but it does touch the top of something else. So we always want to make sure we clean all areas of our dishes. Speaking of cutting boards, here we've got one. Has a couple little grooves in it, so you're going to want to make sure you get into all those grooves. We use cutting boards to cut produce. We use it to cut protein and fruits. So you want to make sure, that you are cleaning it so the next time you're prepping food that you're not cross-contaminating with anything else. Make sure you rinse it until it runs clean. Next, we have our pizzazz. We all love pizzazz, but those little holes do get a lot of burnt stuff in them from your pizzas or your pizza rolls or your chicken fries. So you want to make sure you scrub, make sure you fill all those little holes with soap. I run my finger through them. If I find something, I scratch it off and rub with my sponge again. So here we are rinsing it off. And then we're going to be moving on to our last cutting board. Same thing applies. We want to rinse, scrub, and then rinse and check our work. And then after that, we'll be moving on to cleaning our sink. You want to clean your sink ideally after every time you wash dishes. Uh, just because those dishes have been sitting in there, they are dirty, and that's bacteria and germs. So we're going to spray our bleach. We're going to be very generous, and we are going to do both sides. I only have one side on camera, but both are being done at the same time. Once we spray it, we let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll come in and lather it up and scrub it vigorously. Once again, the bleach doesn't do all the work. You're going to have to put some muscle behind it and scrub it in, and you're going to be doing this on both sides. Once again, if there is anything for cleaning or cooking you'd like to learn, please reach out. Let me know. I'd be happy to make a video on it. And then, as you see, we're just scrubbing everything. After scrubbing, we're going to be rinsing it with hot water, and we're still going to scrub it as we rinse, and we're going to just keep doing that until the water runs clean and there's no more bleach. Here we are with the water starting, so I'm going to start doing that process. If you have any questions, also please reach out to me. If you need one-on-one assistance or help, I would be happy to do that as well. And then once I'm done with this, also make sure you dry the edge of your sink. I didn't show that on camera, but make sure you dry it off. And then, like I said, try to do this every time you wash your dishes. It's a good habit to get into. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to learn something new with y'all next time. And once again, let me know if there's anything you'd like to learn. I'd be happy to teach you. Thank you. Take care.